and girls. Welcome to Storytime with RCRC. I am RC the Elf, and today's story will be read by Miss Carolyn Adams.
Happy holidays from the Richland County Recreation Commissions. My name is Carolyn Adams. Thank you for joining us for Christmas Storytime. Today's storybook is Santa is Coming to South Carolina. It is written by Steve Smallman and illustrated by Robert Dunn and Jerry Pike. I hope that you enjoy today's story. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from South Carolina been very good this year? Well, mostly, answered the little elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, tearing piles of litter that the children of South Carolina had sent him. Mostly, said Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yes, but they've been very especially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, chuckled Santa. Then we better get their presents loaded up. Even though the sacks of presents was really, really big and the elves was really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading into Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack into one little sleigh, even they didn't know. But somehow they did. Splendid, boomed Santa. We are ready to go. Not quite, Santa, said the little old elf. One of our reindeers is missing. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight. I called him and I called him, but just then a young reindeer strolled up munching on a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. But the youngest deer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he didn't hear the old elf calling. Oh, well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeers a little wink. He took out his Santa nav, tapped into the coordinates for South Carolina. This will guide us to South Carolina in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch. With the flick of the rings and the jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the skies. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. We'll soon have their present delivered to the Palmetto State. Santa's flight through the starry night, heading south across the Arctic Ocean. On they flew in the wintry air, crossing over Canada. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying above West Virginia and past North Carolina. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before. They had just crossed the Blue Ridge Mountain when suddenly they ran into a thick fog. Mist swirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. In 2 miles, said the Santa nav in a bossy lady's voice. Keep left at the next star. But, ma'am, Santa blushed, I couldn't see any stars in this fog. Soon they were hopelessly lost. Then, through the foggy blanket, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound. Ding dong. He looked over at the old reindeer with the red nose, but he had his head down. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. There was that sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa, but Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with the little box with buttons on it. With the flick of the harness and the jerk of the rings, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed up towards the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and his sleigh behind him. Whoa! Cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. What's going on? Then to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. Well done, young reindeers, he shouted cheerfully. It must be the bells of the First Presbyterian Church in Columbia. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming. Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the fog. You have arrived, said the Santa nav unhappily. Finally, when the fog had lifted, Santa discovered exactly where they were. Stuck right at the very top of the Christmas tree near South Carolina State House. Everybody pull! The reindeer pulled with all their might until, at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh striped clear of the Christmas tree, and Santa steered them safely over the Richland County Public Library and the South Carolina State Museum, above the Three Rivers Greenway, past Riverbank Zoo, along the rivers, and down into Saluda Shores Park. Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the packages have all been all jumbled up. Santa quickly put the presents back in order. All right, said Santa. Thanks to this young reindeer, I know where we are now. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming. Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop all over South Carolina, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could go. There was big chimneys in Myrtle Beach and small chimneys in Spartanburg. He squeezed down thin chimneys in Beaufort and plummeted down fat chimneys in Mount Pleasant. The youngest reindeer was amazed how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all, and it looked like the children in South Carolina was going to be very lucky this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit weary and quite hungry too. In house after house, Santa delved into his sack of packages of every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stocking with surprises. In house after house, the good children of South Carolina have left out a plate of cookies, a small glass of milk, and a big crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrot into his sack. From Greenville to Georgetown, from Summerville to Sumter, from Rock Hill to Hilton Head, from Aiken to Anderson, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in South Carolina. Santa delivered presents to Abigail, Addison, Aiden, Alexander, Andrew, Aver, and the list went on and on. Violet, Wyatt, Xavier, Zachary, Zoe, and Zabia. Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his long South Carolina list. Great moons and stars, said Santa. It's past midnight and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeers. Good job, he says, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was too busy munching. Then it was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa nav once more to the North Pole, and soon they were speeding above Table Rock, past Seven Oaks, over Santee State Park, above Charleston, and out over Patriots Point into the crisp, starry night. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. Merry Christmas, South Carolina. Merry Christmas from the Richland County Recreation Commission.